Welcome to the new Workology Go Podcast. In just under 5 minutes, we'll get you the HR and workplace news you need before you start your day 2 times a week. Get ready, get set, and go with the new Workology Go Podcast.
Here are today's HR and workplace news headlines from the Workology Go Podcast. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. This podcast is sponsored by Learn by Workology. The robots are coming, and companies like Amazon are using robots to monitor employee productivity, making terminations a simple productivity numbers game. I recently read a story in Business Insider on how Amazon is using robots to monitor warehouse employees and their performance. If employees don't meet a performance level, their employment is terminated.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
In a world where I believe the key to our business is more humanity, I believe this is wrong. It also leaves me with a whole lot of questions about how Amazon notifies their employees in terms of setting expectations and the termination itself. I had the pleasure of interviewing Robert Coombs. He's a candidate who created a robot to apply for thousands of jobs. He talks about how he used his robot to apply for jobs in this Workology podcast interview.
I put together something that I very loosely call a robot, but it's really just a glorified spreadsheet with arms. And it crawls the internet for jobs that have relevant keywords and titles and companies that I'm interested in. It brings them in to this sort of makeshift database, and it processes the data in a way that allows me to write customized and personalized cover letters, emails to hiring managers, and pairing it with a specific resume that's tailored to that job. So I did some A/B testing and eventually came to realize that it really didn't matter what I was doing with the subject line or the cover letter, how I was pairing it with the resume. None of these things seemed to have a significant impact on the responses that I was getting. And so I took it a step further and I said, rather than having a subtle difference between version A and version B, I'm going to have a drastic difference. I just want to see if anyone's even reading these things. So version A of my last cover letter was just the normal cover letter. It's something that I hope someone would read and say, this sounds like an interesting candidate. And version B, beginning in the second sentence, admitted that it was being sent by a robot. The idea here is that either someone should be very excited by that kind of creativity and a disruptive approach to applying to jobs, or they should be very, very turned off.
Robert's approach didn't result in any job offers or even interviews. He did, however, generate great conversation on automation and robots and how they can improve processes. But that doesn't stop the fact that Robert's robot, just like Amazon, has taken the human out of one of the most personal workplace interactions, which is employee terminations and coaching conversations. I've included a link to Robert's interview as well as our featured story on Amazon. Do you see a future where robots are taking over a manager's job of terminating employees? We already have so much violence in our workplaces and stress. I can't imagine being on the receiving end of an involuntary termination, which happened via email or text message from the robot who fired me. Are you recertifying soon with SHRM or HRCI? Workology is offering a free recertification tip sheet, helping you recertify effortlessly. Text RECERT, R-E-C-E-R-T, to 55678 and get our recertification tip sheet delivered to you directly. Get out your phone, text RECERT, R-E-C-E-R-T, to 55678. And that's this episode of the Workology Go Podcast, sponsored by Learn by Workology. We're your go-to for HR and workplace news. I'm Jessica Miller-Merrill. Thank you for listening.
To learn more about the Workology Go Podcast, subscribe to us on Apple, Google, and Stitcher. Our podcast is also available on Alexa and Google Home. Learn more at workology.com/Go Podcast and access this episode's resources, links, and reports for more information.